Team India has reached Leeds cricket ground at Headingley with a 1-0 lead following the roller coaster of a test at Lord's. After having skittled out England in less than 2 sessions on the last day at the Lord's, an extremely confident India will be up against a little shaken England in Headingley from Wednesday, August 25th. England will be desperate to bounce back. Both the teams will try to make their summer rosy, but who will succeed? That's the question. I am Radhika, and to discuss the same, I have with me senior sports journalist Abhijit Singh and cricket data analyst Nikhil Narayan. Hello guys, I hope you both are doing fine.
Hi Radhika, doing well. Thank you.
How are you, Nikhil?
I'm doing well, thank you.
We all know that India has an impressive record when it comes to Leeds. What do you both have to say about this? Nikhil, I go with you first.
Yes, India has played 6 test matches at Leeds. We lost the first 3. We drew in 1979 and we won the last 2 test matches we played there. 1986 when Dileep Vengsarkar scored that brilliant second innings 100.
Right.
And 2002 when Tendulkar, Dravid and Ganguly scored centuries in the first innings. So although that is 19 years ago, but history does play a part. I mean, so India will go into Leeds with a lot of confidence.
Right. Abhijit, what do you feel about this?
Clearly, Radhika, we are inside of a hat-trick, and why shouldn't we? Because we just beaten England fair and square at the home of cricket. But that's just the record. Records are meant to be broken, and overall, if you see, it has been 19 years since India last played. So England has played at Headingley. It is one of their best venues over there, having played 77 matches. But then we are going over here with a lot of confidence, and should we play anywhere close to the potential we showed at Lord's, then India should be 2-0 up.
Right. Let's discuss about the pitch. What do you think about how pitch is going to be? Is it true that it's going to be a paradise for seamers? Nikhil?
Leeds since 2016 actually has been a paradise for seamers. It has the second best bowling average and the best bowling strike rate for an English ground since 2016.
Right.
Even more significantly, it has the best bowling strike rate and the worst bowling strike rate for pacers and spinners respectively, which means both the teams will go in with as many pace bowlers as possible.
Abhijit?
I haven't seen the pitch, neither have seen the latest images, but overall, if you ask me, in England, who are the ones who wins you test matches? It's the pacers in general, and spinners have a limited role, and that is exactly why that brings us to the question of whether Ashwin will be there in the playing 11 or not. But one thing is for sure, that Virat Kohli has emphasized on one thing, that he will have 4 pacers in his unit. Will we have any kind of change in those pacers, the ones that played at Lord's? That remains to be seen. But you just see the depth of fast bowlers which we have at present, and the likes of Siraj standing up. And then, of course, I won't talk about the performances that is there. But sticking to England conditions, if it's a cloud cover, and irrespective of whether it's a beauty, it's a batting paradise, you will go with seamers first, pacers first, than spinners.
Right, Abhijit, you just mentioned about the playing 11, so let's just I'll shift my question to playing 11 only. Do you think that India will go on the field with unchanged playing 11? And as mentioned, there's one question, Ishant or Shardul? Nikhil?
Knowing Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri, I think because India won a miraculous victory at Lord's, I don't think they're going to tinker with the 11.
Okay.
So that is not happening. Although England will play 5 left-handers, David Malan is supposed to bat at number 3.
Right.
Ashwin has a great record against left-handers. Still, I don't think Jadeja would be dropped for Ashwin.
Okay.
It's not going to happen. As far as Thakur versus Ishant you asked, I don't think Ishant Sharma will be dropped after his performance at Lord's. He took his 3 wickets in the England first innings. Were very significant because that helped India to restrict England to below 400 and not let England take a vital first innings lead. He was also excellent in the second innings. Although Thakur was also very impressive at Trent Bridge, but I don't see India's highest wicket taker in England being dropped for Thakur.
Right. Abhijit, are you also on the same side that we are going with unchanged playing 11?
Well, Radhika, thanks for the fact that I'm not Virat Kohli and I don't have to take these kind of calls. But yeah, it's a good point. See, it all depends on the balance. What balance is Virat Kohli looking at? If you see Shardul Thakur, he has done nothing wrong in his test match career so far. He's won you Gabba test match, or rather played a very crucial part there. And then he played in the first test match. Now, I'll put the scenario like this. Had he not got injured, would Ishant Sharma had played the Lord's Test match? Possibly not, because he did enough in the Nottingham Test match to be a part of right through the series, and why not? Yes, you have someone like Ishant Sharma who is like your workhorse. Every time Virat Kohli throws him the ball, he'll just run in, give you those 10 to 15 overs. But at the end, and he also did very well. But you also got to see that Ishant Sharma has a good, or rather very good record at Lord's, and not so at the other venues. So what are you looking at? You are looking at Shardul Thakur, who also gives you a balance, not a balance, a little bit of cushion with the bat as well towards the lower order. Is that what you're looking for? And also the conditions will play a very, very huge role. If you ask me, on a personal note, I will have someone like Shardul Thakur in the side, but Ishant Sharma has done nothing wrong.
Okay, let's also discuss about the playing 11 for the other side. Do you also think that India, just like India, England will also keep their playing 11 same? There's also one change that we can expect from Mark Wood, because Mark Wood is injured.
Yeah.
So everybody is expecting Saqib Mahmood. What do you feel about this? Same playing 11 and change, and who is Saqib Mahmood? Nikhil.
Right, so England have already dropped Dom Sibley, and rightly so. He was in very poor form.
And Zach Crawley as well.
Yes, so what is going to happen is they're going to open with Hamid and Rory Burns. David Malan will definitely bat at number 3. So that's one change. The second change, which is the first change, Mark Wood is out injured. Saqib Mahmood is coming into the 11 for sure. What does Saqib Mahmood bring with him? Raw pace, which also Mark Wood had, so he can consistently bowl above 90 miles per hour. He can also reverse swing the old ball, which is a unique quality. Also, he plays for Lancashire, the same club as county as James Anderson, so Anderson has been giving a lot of tips. And Saqib Mahmood has been in excellent first-class form for Lancashire in the county championship. He was also in great form in the PSL. He was also the player of the series in the ODI series versus Pakistan, which was concluded in July. So Saqib Mahmood is England's trump card here. He's the X factor, I think.
It's going to be his debut.
Test debut, yes.
Yeah. So what can you expect? What are you rather expecting from Saqib?
I think he's going to share the new ball with James Anderson. Lancashire buddies, I mean, they could trouble the Indian openers and the Indian top order.
Okay. Abhijit, what do you feel about England's playing 11?
First of all, I fail to understand as to, there are so many Asian players or rather Asian roots into
Yes,
the England team.
are.
You have the likes of Moeen Ali, earlier you had Mark Butcher, Nasir Hussain. I'm like, where are these guys coming from? But yes, on a serious note, coming to Saqib, whatever I saw of him in the series against Pakistan, he was really, really impressive, and also a man of the match in one of the games, if I remember correctly. Right. And also, like Nikhil said, if you got to beat this Indian team, what are your options? There are excellent players of spin. So there is one thing, the pace, that can beat even the best of batsmen. You saw how Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma and others have struggled against just raw, brutal pace, and that is what England is banking on. Remember, James Anderson is still their number 1 bowler, but he doesn't have that similar pace he used to had in the 5, 6 or 7 seasons before. So you need to have Mark Wood. Yes, he troubled Indian batsmen in patches, I would say, at Lord's, but then he did asked serious questions to Indian batsmen. And on the same note, England's blueprint is pretty simple. Just beat the Indian batsmen, limit them to anywhere under 200 or 300, and then try and take the game from there on.
Right. Do you also think that England current team right now is a little weak? Maybe because of injury, or maybe not that support from their batting side or bowling side. Do you guys feel that, Nikhil?
England aren't playing some of their best players. I mean, they aren't playing Ben Stokes, the best all-rounder in the world. Jofra Archer is out, one of their best bowlers. So, of course, this England team is weak. Look at their batting. I mean, this batting is an Indian B team can, better their batting lineup. And just the numbers, Joe Root, world-class batsman, has scored 386 runs in this series. The combined aggregate of the other England top order, 7 of them is 374. 12 runs shorter combined, so lesser combined than Joe Root. I mean, that is a staggering statistic.
Exactly. This is what we do not expect from a team like England, especially. Abhijit, do you also feel same?
Well, I differ in this opinion. I never take a word like weak in any sport, because you never know which team can come out with what kind of performance on a given day. Yes, if you compare the two sides, India looks far more balanced, and England looks a lot more dependent on 2.5 players. Maybe you have Ollie Robinson, he's a very quality bowler, James Anderson and Joe Root. The problem with England is that they are not playing as a formidable unit, or what we expect them in their home conditions. Remember, it's the same side, nearly the same side. Yes, I agree with Nikhil that if you take Ben Stokes out of this England team, you are just taking the oxygen out of their lungs. It's as simple as that.
Yes,
So
that's the case.
they need someone like Ben Stokes in the middle, because he's someone who gives you 100% with the ball, with the bat in the field, and Joe Root is surely missing him.
Right. Okay. So my next question is rather a curiosity. There's a story when it comes to Leeds toss. Whoever wins the toss loses the match. What is this, Nikhil?
Yes, I mean, there's a very interesting stat. Since 2010, there have been 9 matches at Leeds. The team winning the toss has lost 6. Now, when you see this in the light of Virat Kohli's luck with tosses, Virat Kohli has the worst luck in the history of international cricket. So, this is one match where he doesn't want to break that. He should lose the toss and, it will follow.
So we are expecting a hat trick. Are we?
It should be, Radhika, because going into the test match, what do you actually look into? You look into the balance, you look into the form of the players. Yes, we also have concerns in our batting department, but look at that pace attack and also the spin options. Whether Ashwin will play or will he not play, that remains to be seen. But at the end of the day, England is definitely will look to bounce back. But India certainly holds the aces.
Let's just hope that best happens. Thank you so much, guys. It's pleasure having you both. Thank you.
Thank you.
Both the teams will play with the same intensity and fire in this all-important third test. We all can expect another cracking test match between these two top sides. That's all for today. For more updates, keep watching News 9.